Last time, I ranked numbers 11 through 20 of every WrestleMania from worst to best. Here's the next part. My name is Drew, better known as RockJock01, and here's every WrestleMania ranked from worst to best, numbers 21 through 30. Number 10, I've got WrestleMania 27. By far the worst modern WrestleMania in history. We'll see if 41 is that bad. But as of right now, this is the worst. This show had one good match, and that was The Undertaker versus Triple H in a no-holds-barred match, and easily the worst match was Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler, aka two broadcasters fighting. Yeah. So, yeah, this show stunk, and without a doubt, it's in dead last. Number 9, I've got Mania 25. This show was for the most part. But it does have the hugest spark that basically kind of saved this card from being dead last. And that would be widely considered the greatest match to ever take place at Mania. And that was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. In my eyes, the worst match on this card was the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. And it made it even more stupid because a man won it in drag. So, yeah. This could have been worse, but it's still pretty bad. It's here at number 9. Number 8, I've got WrestleMania 29. Okay, this show was very bland. I mean, they tried to keep it as safe as possible in some spots, but other than that, it was just uneventful. The worst match easily on the card in my eyes was Mark Henry versus Ryback, and the best match on the card was without a doubt CM Punk versus The Undertaker, which shocked the heck out of me on how good that was. All in all, I thought this show did much better in terms of the other two that are lower than it, so it's here at 8. Number 7, I've got WrestleMania 28. This show exceeded a lot of people's expectations because, well, WrestleMania 27 set the bar super low. Now, this show has a dud here, and that was Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. In fact, I probably talked longer than the actual match itself. 18 seconds. Really? Anyway, the best match on the card was easily the Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker versus Triple H, which in my eyes is better than their previous encounter. All in all, I think there are 6 shows better than this one, even though it exceeded well over expectations. So sadly, WrestleMania 28 is at number 7. Number 6, I got WrestleMania 26. This show pleasantly surprised me, and I actually had fun watching this show. There was a couple good matches on the card. I mean, the Money in the Bank ladder match was good, even though they had the wrong winner. And without a doubt, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker was the best match on the card. However, their first encounter at Mania 25 is just better than this one. But still, good match. Easily the worst match was Bret Hart versus Mr. McMahon, where Bret was pushing 50 and McMahon was probably in his early 60s at this point. It was ugh. All in all, it sucks that this group of Manias, it puts this one towards the middle of the pack, especially in the lower half. So Mania 26, sadly, is at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I've got WrestleMania 23. This show was actually really fun to watch, and the good outweighed the bad in so many ways. However, there were some bad spots, with the worst match being, in my opinion, Kane versus the Great Khali. That was just a dumpster fire. The best match came down to 2 of them. It was either John Cena versus Shawn Michaels, or the one that I picked, which was Undertaker versus Batista. I thought that match was just a little bit better. However, I think there are 4 WrestleManias that are better than this one. The good news is it's in the top 5. Bad news is it's number 5. Moving on to number 4, I've got Mania 22. The Chicago crowd really helped this one out. There was a lot of good things that went on with this show. A lot of them outweighed the bad, and the only bad that I could really think of was the Boogeyman versus Booker T and Queen Sharmell. That was just a glorified Raw match, and that did not need to be on the card at all. The best match, without a doubt, was the hardcore match between Edge and Mick Foley. Jeez, this shocked the heck out of me. And ultimately, WrestleMania 22 was a good show. However, it just misses out on the podium it's here at number 4. Coming in at number 3, I've got WrestleMania 24, and oh my gosh, this show is so good. At least a top 5 Mania up to this point. Now, this show did have a stinker, and that would be Beth Phoenix and Melina versus Maria and Ashley. It was so bad that the lights went out during the match. And I'm not kidding either. The best match, take your pick. It could be Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, but I went with Edge versus The Undertaker, which was the main event of the show. That match and the finish was so surprising. So, yeah, unfortunately, 2 Manias are better than this one. But hey, at least it's in the top 3 at number 3. Now, number 1 and number 2 could be interchangeable. But for this, number 2, I've got WrestleMania 21. And oh my gosh, this show is incredible. Almost from head to toe, a perfect show. Now, it did have one flaw, and that was the sumo match between Big Show and Akebono. And without a doubt, the best match on the card was Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels in what I consider to be a 5-star classic. So, yeah, unfortunately, this one lost the coin toss, so that's why WrestleMania 21 is at number 2. And finally, my number 1, I've got WrestleMania 30. Yep, this was the show that won the coin toss. I thought this was just a little bit better in my eyes than Mania 21. Now, it did have some Debbie Downers. I mean, obviously, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. The streak died that night. But the worst match, I went with The Shield versus Kane and the New Age Outlaws. Now, the best match is pretty obvious in my eyes, and that was Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. All in all, I had the most fun watching WrestleMania 30, so that's why Mania 30 is my number 1. And that's going to do it for ranking every WrestleMania from worst to best, numbers 21 through 30. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Also, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and push that notification bell, and tell your friends about these videos. And I shall see you again when the next one comes out. But until then, have a good day. Never ever bring exotic dancers to the field house. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.